Tournament of Champions show, so we don't have any time to waste. Let's get right to it. It's College Crossfire.
What the hell's the rest of it? Taylor's not even here to defend himself. I'm so excited.
And welcome into this evening's episode of College Crossfire. We're going to go ahead and skip right to things and go ahead and meet our panel, our first of 6 panels that we're going to have this evening. So sitting to my immediate right, it is Yumi Park making her return to College Crossfire. Yumi, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm just going to try to get past the first round today.
All right, I think that's what we're all aiming for. And sitting to her right, also returning to Crossfire, Adam Beard. Adam, how are you this evening?
Good, just trying to win it. Trying to win it all.
All right, and to his right, it's Jonathan Kramer. Jonathan, how you doing?
Excellent.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get right to it. And we start with the NFL. Now, this past weekend, we saw Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck each lead game-winning drives, and RG3 led the Redskins to a win over the defending champion New York Football Giants in his Monday night premiere. So, after the finishes this weekend, which rookie quarterback would you take? Yumi, we'll start with you.
I feel like this is the most obvious answer, but I'm going with RG3. Did you guys see that crazy play? I mean, besides his stats, 9 touchdowns in the past 3 games, 1 interception. That's great, but that play, I mean, he's winning football games with just a fumble. That's a pretty good deal with me, so I'm going with RG3.
All right, RG3, Adam, what do you think?
I got to agree. I'm going with RG3 too. I mean, you look at what he's done, 9 touchdowns in the past 3 games, just 1 interception. He only has 4 interceptions on the year. That's tied with Tom Brady for the least in the entire NFL. Andrew Luck, it's a toss-up, but Andrew Luck, he's had a weaker schedule, and RG3 is playing with the 29th ranked defense in the NFL, and he's just getting it done. He's exciting on the ground and through the air.
All right, Jonathan, what do you think?
I have to completely disagree with both of these first two.
Of course, who would you beat him?
There is an obvious answer. It is Andrew Luck. Here's why, Garrett. Expectations. Look how long it took the Miami Dolphins to replace Dan Marino. They still haven't. Look how long it took the Denver Broncos to replace John Elway. Wait, who is the guy that's actually replacing John Elway? Well, here we are 14 years later. It's the guy that Andrew Luck is replacing in Indianapolis. This guy came in replacing a legend. Unbelievable expectations. He's done it right away.
All right. I like the argument, but I'm going to have to say that Yumi's probably going to grab the point here because she said RG3 first. The guy's been lighting the NFL up. He's the new style of offense. They are effectively running a spread offense in the NFL right now for the Washington Redskins. But it really is kind of a toss-up.
Definitely read the same
Now, a
article
rookie
on
quarterback
this,
that we didn't bring up in our conversation is Nick Foles. And right now he's in because Michael Vick has still not passed his test for a concussion to be cleared to play. So Andy Reid came out this past week and said that they are sticking with Nick Foles for the remainder of the season. Now, does this mean that Vic is on his way out the door? And if so, where do you see him landing? Adam, we'll start with you.
Michael Vick is gone. He will no longer be an Eagle next year. Andy Reid's gone too. There's 3 teams I can see Vic playing for. 1, I'd love to see him play for the New York Jets. I think he could really just revive that team and make pieces around him better. Chiefs, I can see him being a good fit there as well. But there's one thing consistent with Michael Vick, and that is he's always playing for the Birds. He started off with the Falcons, then the Eagles now. He will be a great fit to the Arizona Cardinals, play for another Bird on that team. And, he's got Larry Fitzgerald. Poor Larry Fitzgerald. He needs a quarterback. Michael Vick can be a quarterback.
All right. Jonathan, what are you thinking?
Well, yes, I agree with Adam. Michael Vick is definitely gone. He would be owed $15 million next year. The Eagles structured the deal, so if they get out of it after 2 years, they only have to pay him $3.5 million, basically, as a going-away present, so saves $11.5 million. He is out. Where will he land? I think he's going to land in New York, but not with the Jets. I think he's going to go to the Buffalo Bills. They tried to bring in VY this offseason. Chan Gailey likes that dual-threat quarterback. And I'll tell you what, not very thrilled with Fitzpatrick this year. I think they'll go give Vic a try.
All right. Yumi, what are you thinking?
I definitely agree with both the guys that he has done. I think the Eagles have given him enough tries for the past 2.5 seasons. honestly, and I was talking about this with some other people, maybe he's done. I mean, he is getting pretty old. He's 32. You know, some of the other older players are like, I don't even know, like 32, 36, 37.
I mean, that's a pretty big gap between
It is a
32
pretty big
and
gap,
36.
but you also have to take into the fact, like, you know, he kind of messed up, and the Eagles did give him his second chance to come back and prove himself, and he was great his first season back. But since then, he hasn't been as consistent as they've wanted him to be.
I mean, no one's protected him, though.
That too, and that obviously plays a factor. But you know what? Like, if you're as good of a quarterback as people want you to be, maybe you should start stepping up and be a better quarterback. So I think he might be done. He might be coming on a different team, maybe as a backup. But I don't know if I'm going to see him as a starter for another season.
All right. I like all the options that you guys gave out there. And I think it's interesting, but I'm going to have to agree with Adam on this one. Arizona is really looking for a quarterback at this point. Interesting, though, since they just got Kevin Cobb, and it is not a tie, as my producer just said in my ear, because Adam's going to get 2 points for that answer. And go ahead and move on to the next round. I know, right? It's brutal
I got
in the Tournament of Champions. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and switch these 3 panelists out and get 3 other panelists, but for your viewing pleasure, I suppose you could say, there's videos of people singing songs to Johnny Manziel, and, well, apparently the Razorbacks picked up on it, too, with their new coach. Master Control, let's go ahead and roll this.
Ooh, pig suey! We got us a new football coach, Brad Bielema. Yes! I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Losing was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw his face. Now I'm a believer without a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. Ooh, I'm a believer in Jeff Long, 'cause he got us a great football coach. Woo, pig suey! I thought losing was more or less a given thing. It seems the more we gave, the less we got. We thought, what's the use in trying? 'Cause all we get is pain. When we needed sunshine, we got rain. Then I saw his face. Now I'm a believer.
All right, so now that that is over with, we have our new panel sitting here for us. So let's go ahead and meet them. Sitting to my immediate right, it is Jet Beecham. Jet, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great.
All right, sitting to his right is Anthony Yan. Anthony, first time on the show?
First time, going to justify that first-round draft pick.
All right, let's see how it turns out. And then sitting to his right is Quentin Bodwin, making his return to College Crossfire. Quentin, doing all right this evening?
Stellar.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into
like that?
a little bit of baseball talk, since we talked a lot of football. Now, winter meetings have started, and after 2 seasons of disappointment, the Boston Red Sox are throwing around money again. And what do you make, panelists, of the Red Sox offseason moves so far? And do you see them making any other big signings? We'll start with Chet.
Yes, of course. You've heard of the Red Sox getting Napoli now from the Rangers. Unfortunately, being a Rangers fan, but Napoli. The thing about Napoli is, even though he had an off season this year, the problem with him is, actually, the good with him is the fact that he hits at the Red Sox. He demolishes that green big wall. Oh my God, he's been the best hitter there for years. And so they realized, hey, playing half our home games here, at least we can get half out of him, even if he doesn't play.
They don't play half their home games at Fenway?
Sometimes, not really. I'm just playing. But other than that, they're seeking Dempster. So Dempster's a good pitcher. So.
All right. So you think that they're probably going to go after Ryan Dempster and bring him?
They're probably going to.
All right. Anthony, what do you think?
I think that they've made some good moves so far with Napoli. I like the Shane Victorino pickup, although he's aged. He just stole 39 bases, a career high for him. What I don't like is the signing of David Ross. I feel they have too many catchers. They might try to get rid of old Saltsy. And if David Ortiz stays healthy for more than 90 games, then he can do well. I see them going after a pitcher. either a pitcher with James Shields taking that away from the Rangers, or going after Josh Hamilton with a big 5-year deal. You know, I heard rumors that their GM was meeting with him during the winter meetings. So so far they're doing pretty good this offseason.
All right, so you like the move so far, Quentin? What do you think?
I'm gonna have to piggyback off of that. You got Gomes, Ross, Victorino, and all that, but that's gonna add offense. What they really need is they need to improve their bullpen a little bit. And so, I mean, if they're gonna go after a pitcher, and I also see them trying to dig back into the Rangers roster and get Hamilton, but I don't see that happening. I don't see any big moves besides just adding to their bullpen. They've got enough offense for now.
I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and give the point to Quentin. That's a big thing. The Red Sox, they generally would have enough offense, but we've seen it over the last couple of years. When it gets down to the late times in games, there's not really anybody to come out of the pen and really lock it down. So that's the area that they're looking to improve there. All right. So we talked quarterback controversy earlier, and we're going to talk a little bit more. And no, we are not talking about the New York Jets. They don't matter. We're going to talk about a team that actually matters, and that is the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Jim Harbaugh said that he is sticking with Colin Kaepernick even after a loss to the lowly St. Louis Rams. Now, does this mean that Alex Smith is done in San Francisco, or do you see the 49ers going back to him if Kaepernick struggles again? Anthony, we'll start with you.
I'd say that they stick with Kaepernick. He's a dual threat, and he's rushed for 298 yards so far, 4 touchdowns. He really gets it done with his feet. He can move the ball better than Smith can, who only has 134 yards so far this season. With those concussions, it's going to sideline him, and I see Kaepernick being the future of the 49ers.
All right, so you don't think Smith sees the field?
I don't see him going on.
All right. Quentin, what do you think? I'm
also going to have to piggyback again, but still, Kaepernick is a playmaker. He's got the QB runs. He just brings more to the table than Smith does. Smith is traditional, but Kaepernick can stretch the field, and he can be a playmaker and turn things around for them. Where with Alex Smith, he's got good numbers and everything, but it's just boring, honestly.
Boring all the way to the NFC Championship game. But anyway, Jet, what do you think?
Of course, they're going to keep Kaepernick. Alex Smith won't see a licking at all of playing time. He won't see any playing time because going back to Smith would be a mistrust in Smith, as he already had. So coming back to Smith, then what is Kaepernick going to feel? I mean, he clearly has mistrust in him. So you have to pick one quarterback and stick with him for the rest of the season. I believe you have one change a season, and then after that, you have to stay with that quarterback. You've decided. I mean,
but it's the thing where this guy got injured, and his performance before he went out, he was 18 of 19.
Yeah.
Very, very effective. And it's a thing of where you guys have mentioned that Kaepernick is a game changer, but they didn't really ask Alex Smith to do that. They said, hey, manage the game. We got a good running game. We have good weapons on the outside, and we have a really good defense. So do you guys think it's unfair at all that, they kind of said stretch the field to Kaepernick and kind of conserve the game for Smith?
Yeah. Definitely, but I could see both of them running. Just put Kaepernick in to just, change it up a little bit and then run 2 quarterbacks. Not a lot, but, every now and then.
All right.
that just causes a lot of problems.
All right. I like
not Sanchez and Tebow.
I like all the arguments that you guys have brought. Unfortunately, only one person can advance on. I'm going to go ahead and give the point to Quentin on this one. But valiant effort by both of you guys in this first round here. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, alternate out our panelists again. But don't go anywhere because we've got a little bit of Texas football for you coming up in the next segment. Don't go anywhere. It's College Crossfire.